And before y'all say anything, I wasn't lying. Because he never put his hands on the kids. It was always just me. And the kids never seen him put his hands on, except for that one time with Jackson when we was in Maryland. Other than that, they have never seen him put his hands on me. And they have not been around when we've been arguing. It's like we've always stepped away from them when we've been arguing. So I'm just like, why the fuck is this nigga lying? I'm like, oh my God, now this is about to be some shit. So I got off the phone with the defense lady. Of course, she was on speakerphone, so he already knew what was being said. And he gonna look at me, he was just like, your baby father's gonna be an issue, ain't he? I was just like, he's being his normal self. That's you know, this is how he is. You know, this is the game that he plays. He has to use my son as a pawn. So this is the game he's playing. He's like, I'm tired of going through these games with your baby father and your family. He's like, this is what the fuck I mean when I said I didn't want to deal with outside kids. Now I got to deal with outside men. And I'm just like, you don't have to deal with him. I have to deal with him. He was like, no, like I said, you let that man just walk all over you. You let him do whatever he want to do because you be trying to keep the peace. And I'm like, no, you can. He was like, no, you cannot just keep always trying to keep the peace, Slim. You need to put your foot down when it comes to this man, because if he starts issues with me, it's going to be a fucking problem. Like, it's going to be a problem. And I'm just like, right now, the last thing we need is threats. I'm like, I don't need no threats right now. Like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. And I started crying. I'm like, look, I'm pregnant. We got to feed these dogs. I still got to make dinner. I got to let Jackson know what's going on without letting him know what's going on, but also reassure him everything's going to be okay. And I'm pregnant, and I can't keep letting down because everything is making me sick. I'm like, even the smell of you makes me sick. He was like, what the fuck you mean the smell of me makes you sick? I was like, look, and it's nothing against you. I'm not saying that you stink. I'm just saying, like, whenever you come around, your aroma, it naturally makes me nauseous. Like, he was like, well, I can go take a shower. I was like, even when you take a shower and you use the body wash that I use, I mean, the body wash that I like, because I used to buy his body wash based on, like, how it smelled, because I want him to smell a certain way. Whatever. All females do it. Like, whatever. So he would come home, take a shower, and it would still smell. It would make me nauseous. So I'm just like, it's hard for me to even lay in the bed with you right now because I'm so nauseous. And I'm just like, it's so much going on right now. And I'm like breaking down and crying. Like, I'm just crying. And he come, give me a hug. He was like, you know what I feel like we need to do? And I was just like, what's that? He was like, we should go ahead and make that move. I said, make what move? It was like, we just need to move to Maryland. Like, let's just move to Maryland, get out of here, have a fresh start. And I'm just like, we can't move to Maryland. I'm like, my family's here. He was just like, look, your family is doing a lot right now. It's like, your mom is even on the verge of possibly having you lose your kids. And you know that I'm not putting my hands on your kids. And she's saying, like, we need to move to Maryland. Like, he was trying to convince me to move to Maryland. And I was just like, I don't know. Carter's here, his family's here. And I was just like, I don't know. It's like I still would have to go through the whole process of modifying the custody with Carter's dad. I'm like, it's a lot. And he was just like, so how about this? We're in April now. How about we leave in July? That'll give us a couple of months to stack. Give you a couple of months to work things out as far as the custody with that bitch ass nigga. And then we'll go from there. And I was just like, Maryland, you want to move to Maryland? He was like, yeah, we'll just go in a couple of months, stack our bread up now, and iron out all the stuff that we have to do here first, and then move. I'm like, okay, I guess we'll move to Maryland, I guess. So the next day, I went to work, and I was telling my best friend about moving, and he was just kind of like side-eyeing me. Like, my best friend, he's very supportive. Very supportive. But when shit don't make sense, it don't make sense. And he's gonna let me know that it don't make sense, but he's gonna say it in a very passive way, because he's very passive. He's not confrontational at all. He's very passive. So the conversation ended with like, okay, if you feel like that's best for you, like, you got my support. I'm like, okay. So I go home. When D picked me up from work, we go home, and that night I'm sitting in the bed and I'm just like, I'm tired. Like, I'm so tired. All I do is work, come home, take care of these kids, cook dinner, wash dishes. Because at this point, you remember how I said in the beginning, if I cooked, he would wash dishes. He stopped doing that. he stopped doing that. So I was cooking, I was washing dishes, I was doing all of this while being pregnant and being the only one working. So I was tired. Like, I was dead ass tired. So I'm in the bed and I look at him and I'm just like, what's a nice way for me to say it? I need to find a nice way for me to say it, because if I come off any other way, it's going to be bad. So I look at D. I was like, hey, you want to move, right? And he was like, yeah, we moving to Maryland. I was like, that's great. And I know I just got this promotion, because at the time, at my job, I had been there for 8 years. When I started working there, I was making $13.25 an hour. Then it went up to $15 an hour. And then at that point, in April of 2019, I was at $17.50 an hour. So that was a pretty big jump from what it was when me and him first started. Whatever. So it's like I'm making a little bit more, but it still wasn't enough. So I was like, look, I know I just got a raise and I'm making a little bit more, but as I'm writing down all the numbers and doing the budget, I won't be able to like put a lot aside for us to have the money to move. And he was just like, so what do you want to do? He was like, I was just like, well, is there any way that you can get a job? And he looked at me and I was just like, it'll just help so that we can ensure that we have the money when we move. Because I know when we move, you want to be moving into our own place and not have to rely on family. So I'm trying to sweeten up why he need to get a job. I know. So he was just like, well, I don't know what I want to do. I was like, well, you got your criminal justice degree. Maybe we could do something with that. He's like, I don't want to do nothing with law enforcement. Do I look like I want to do something with law enforcement? And I was just like, well, you play football. You go to the gym. He was like, yeah, those are my hobbies. Football, dog breeding, gym. And I'm just like, well, how about we try to get you a job at the gym? Like a gym. I'm like, there's a bunch of gyms here. We try to get your job at the gym. That way, since you go to work, you work out anyway, you can be at work and work out at work, or you can work out right after work or before work, like if you work at a gym. And he was just like, well, I don't have a resume. I was like, I could put together your resume. I know. I was like, I could put together your resume. And he was just like, okay, all right. So I ended up putting together his little resume for him, because he did have a couple of jobs when he was in Maryland. So I kind of just spruced up his resume geared towards fitness. And gave him his resume. He was just like, okay, so what I do with this? I'm like, apply for jobs. He was like, apply where? I was like, I mean, you go on Indeed and apply there. He was like, so what I type in? I was like, I got it. So I set up him a profile on Indeed, uploaded his resume, and I started applying for jobs for him. I know. Bear with me, okay? Like I said, I'll make a lot of stupid decisions before I start making some smart ones, okay? So, resume, applying for jobs, maybe like a week to 2 weeks went by, and he got an interview for a gym, assistant manager position at a gym, because he had his degree, assistant manager position at the gym, and he ended up getting the job.